welcome to my channel. When it comes to this channel though, I really wanted to focus on me as a person and what kind of content I can bring to the table. So behind me you can see I've got a colorful backdrop going on. This is actually the start of a photography studio that I'm working on. There's a few other backdrops that I've got. I just felt like it'd be a good kind of setting for my first video that I sit down and kind of talk to you guys. So photography is not my feature right this moment, but there will be behind the scenes photography videos in the future when I start shooting again. Right now I'm just trying to update my equipment, kind of update my space, and then get back into it some more. The main focus right now, as far as what this series is going to be about, is actually the new decade, the new year, and the new healthier goals that I want to pursue. I have struggled with my weight my whole entire life. So for me, I was never the just average person, you know. I was just a little bit more than everybody else. And it started to really mentally affect me about 8 years old when my teacher decided that we were going to do like a science project thing, comparing our weight on Earth to our weight on the moon and stuff like that. I think that's what it was about. But anyway, she lined up the whole entire class and had us get on the scale. Now, this wasn't private, everyone was there, everyone's present. So when you're 8 years old and you're stepping on the scale in front of your whole entire class, it doesn't matter if you're 5 pounds over anyone. It doesn't matter if you're 10 pounds. But when you are the heaviest girl in your class, none of that matters. You're already embarrassed for being the heaviest. It could be 1 pound, but you're still the heaviest girl in the class. And it mentally affects you. And I went through some major depressions growing up. It wasn't until right around middle school or after middle school that I realized what it was, because there were days where I just did not feel like getting out of bed. There were days where I just felt empty and I felt like crying my eyes out, and there was so much raw emotion going through that I just didn't know how to deal with it. And a lot of my coping mechanism as a child was to turn to food, and food became my answer. And it wasn't a good answer, obviously, and something about how food tastes, how food comforts, and how food influences helped me get through those moments. But I still had to deal with them after the fact, because then I gained weight, and then the weight turned around, made me miserable, made me feel like I didn't fit in, made me feel like everyone was always secretly judging me, made me feel like I couldn't do what everyone else could do. And as an adult, it hasn't gotten any better. Like, there have been times where I've tried diet after diet, and I could stick on one diet for 6 months and lose 40 pounds. But the minute I got off that diet, the minute I had a cheat meal or a cheat day, I'd throw myself completely off the bandwagon and have to start all over again. And it happens over and over and over again. I have found that I am an all or nothing kind of person. I can't just say, oh, I'll have a few chips in moderation. If I have it once, I crave it. I want it again. And it's extremely hard for me to get back to that point where I'm like, oh, I don't need it. And I remember for those 6 months that I was doing extremely well, that I'd go and have to face everyone else in my family or friends or people around me who were eating everything that I couldn't have, or they'd have it around me, or like it'd be the only thing in the cupboards besides what I purchased. And the temptation to have it was extremely overwhelming. And I'd be telling myself, I don't want that. That is diabetes in a wrapper. I don't need that. And I'd have to literally say it out loud sometimes is, okay, I don't want that. You're welcome to have your diabetes. Because to me, verbally saying it or having something to realize the consequences right there and then outweighed some of the pleasure that I got from eating those foods. I'm here at a point where I have to start again. I've fallen off the bandwagon. I've given in to the holiday treats. I've given in to the foods that I shouldn't be eating, that are not good for my body. And I've gained the weight back. I've gained more. I don't know. I really don't honestly know where my numbers are at right at the moment, and I don't want to know. What I want is I want to start making progress now, and then come back and look at the numbers when I'm in the right headspace. That is the truth of the matter. But there are things that I can do now without looking at the numbers that are just as important. And if I can start making healthy little changes here and there, overall, what I do today is going to affect what I do tomorrow and the day after and the day after. So that's what this series is about. This series is about is getting from one small goal to the next. This series is about gathering my people around me that are going to support me, that I can support as well if they're on their own weight loss journey. It's about keeping myself accountable to making those changes. It's about facing any fear that I have and making those goals into actual reality. I'm not perfect, and I'm gonna have days where I don't want to get up and do this, where I'm gonna struggle and I'm going to say, is it even worth it? But then I'm gonna see my friends and their lives and look at how much better their quality of life is, and I'm gonna want that, and I'm gonna need that. Because I, for one, am tired of worrying about things like going out with the family and being like, oh, is there only booths available? And needing a chair because the booths are too tight with the tables that is stuck to the floor. Or maybe it's the fact that I'm driving someone else's car, and I'm afraid their seat doesn't go back as far as mine does, and I have to have my stomach pressed up against the steering wheel, or my seatbelt doesn't fit just right. Or maybe I want to travel somewhere and I get on a plane, right? I don't want to have to ask the stewardess for a belt extender, because believe me, that is so embarrassing. I don't want to look at places like Disneyland or Six Flags or all the amusement parks and all that fun that family and friends get to go do and be afraid that I'm going to be turned away from a ride, because it's happened. I was 18 years old. It was my birthday. I went to an amusement park with a friend from school and my family. And I remember how humiliating it was to go and try to get on a ride and to have to walk away from it. And the fun thing is they didn't have a separate exit. So guess what I got to do? I got to walk back through the line of people, trying so hard not to cry. Because you know what? I couldn't ride the ride. And you know the most frustrating thing about it is the fact that maybe an inch is all that little seatbelt needed. And they didn't have any extenders. My butt fit in the seat, but the seatbelt didn't fit. And the ride's policy is you have to wear the seatbelt. I didn't try any other rides that day. I was too afraid. And probably for good reason. The only saving grace is I had a great friend there that day that made sure that birthday was not the worst. That made sure that even though I got turned away from rides, that she was still going to be there with me and make that day better. And I will always remember that day, both the good and the bad. and it haunts me. It really does. But I'm done with that. I'm done like feeling like I am limited by my size. And I know this may be something that's unconventional or something you don't even care to see. And that's fine. You don't have to. But I need this for me. I need to have a platform where I can post and be honest and truthful and be accountable. I need a platform where people who are going through the same thing as me, or they've been through it and they're on the other side, that they can help me through it and cheer me on, or just give me the daily encouragement so that I don't just give up again. And it's super frustrating that I'm in my 20s and I am so limited as in what I can do. I just know things need to change. And with the new year, I want that for myself. And I really hope that you'll stick with me and you'll be here in my corner and I can be in your corner helping you. As far as all the little details go with this journey, with what I'm going through, they'll come as I go through it. Like, I'm not about to step on a scale right now and look at the numbers, because then I'll be in a headspace that I'm not ready for. I'm not going to worry about measurements just yet. Maybe in a month. Maybe I can step on a scale in a month and that'll be a victory in itself. But right now I need to start building the healthy habits to be successful. I really can't wait for the person that I can be. And I'm so excited that I have today. That I can make the small changes. So this is just an entry video. I don't know if I'm going to do this in vlog style or just little updates like this. I'm not sure yet. But thank you. Thank you for just letting me be accountable.